Today on the channel, we're going to unbox and review from Mattel, Masters of the Universe, and Thundercats crossover line, Battle Cat Man. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rich Hansel, and today we've got a Masters of the Universe and Thundercats crossover. This is going to be Battle Cat Man. So we all remember Battle Cat from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He was his little pet, well, his big pet actually, Cringer, and then he turned into Battle Cat when he turned into He-Man. Prince Adam did, and it was fun. It was awesome. Now, I don't know about this. I guess because of the crossover line, we've got to make him into a man, a bipedal creature-like thing. I don't know. But I'm intrigued and I'm curious of how this is going to turn out. I don't know. I don't know. I almost would rather have him just on four legs and be Battle Cat. But let's find out. Let's check out the packaging. We get the Masters of the Universe and Thundercats crossover there. It says Battle Cat Man, most powerful cat in the universe. And we get the blister here, and we get to see exactly what you're getting. There is some claws in there I can see behind. But I guess he looks okay, and we will be able to take all this stuff off and just pretty much make him Battle Cat. But I'm not sure if we need to go that route, because he's not a Thundercat character. You may just need to leave him with his Thundercat or his He-Man inspired gear on, I guess. But let's turn it around and check out the back. And we get a great picture right here of a battle. We get Battle Cat's man's face. Then we get him in all his gear right here. Take it on. Looky there. Beast Man. And that should be a fun one to unbox right there if we get a Beast Man. It's kind of an Easter egg because I don't think we have one yet in this line, a Beast Man. And it does say, after the destruction of Thundera, Battle Cat Man crashed on Third Eternia and now proudly protects his adopted home world. So there you go. That's the rundown of what happened to Battle Cat Man. And it says Battle Cat Man, most powerful cat in the universe, includes a comic book and also attached claws to wrists, so he can scratch people if he needs to be. And we have our crossover, which is Lion-O, Chitara, and this here Battle Cat Man down at the bottom. Warnings, copyrights, labels, barcodes, recycling information, website information, this, that, and the other there. And that is it. So let's go ahead and get him cut out. I will cut his trapdoor at the bottom here so I can get him out of this packaging and not destroy the packaging too bad. All right, trapdoor is cut, and we'll lift that trapdoor up right there, reach in, grab his plastic coffin, and pull him out just like that, nice and easy. And we get a comic book, which I guess I will show that off. There you go. And there's also directions. So on these directions, we're showing switch out parts to transform, and the shaded area is parts to switch. You can see his headgear comes off, his chest plate comes off, his shoulder pads come off, and his claws come off. So, and he's going to look like a regular Thundercat hero, I guess, is what we're going to get there. On the comic, there you go. I'm not sure. I can't remember if we saw this before. Third Eternia, I think we did. But it's a pretty nice comic. I like the artist, does a decent job. Nice coloring in there. Looks good. Looks okay. And here is the back of our packaging. Try to get that so the glare's not on it. But you can see the Thundercat logo in there. I love them rocks. I mentioned that before, those boulders blowing out. And I like that packaging. So we'll set that down there. And here is Battle Cat in his plastic coffin there. We'll go through his accessories first, which most of the accessories are on the action figure. Just these two claws are what we're going to look at right now. And we're going to get a right and a left claw. So they are just red, or kind of a burgundy more than a red, or brick red or something. But it looks pretty good. It's just going to, I think, go right over top of his gauntlet, his forearm guards there. And that might look pretty cool. And then here is, of course, the other one. Very big for this action figure here. All right, that's it. That's the accessories except for the ones on him. So I think he only has ties around his wrist, so I may be able to cut them off easier from the front. There's that one, and there's that one. Pretty easy. I think that's it. I don't see any more. We're going to grab Thundercat Man by his toe, pull him up, and Thundercat Man has been resurrected. There he is. Looks good. Empty coffin there, ties there. And let's go through this. Well, let's go through his accessories on him first. We'll check him out with these accessories on. I do like that that head guard and the jaw guard there. Looks good. I love them spikes up there. So that does look good. The shoulder pads have the big spikes on there. His gauntlets have spikes on the back side of them. So this guy looks pretty rough and ready to take on people. Now, the only weapons he comes with are the claws. I do like his Thundercat vest right there. And it does attach through the back, so that should be fairly easy to get off, I think. We'll probably have to take the head off and take him off at the bot, take his body apart. And these are going to be just like all our other Mattel He-Man inspired figures where you can take everything off. Now, I am definitely having a hard time. I unclasped this chest guard, and now I'm having a hard time getting it back. And that's unfortunate with these this soft jelly-like accessories, especially anything that clasps, like our Mattel WWE belts. Anything that uses that gel soft goods, it just does not want to snap back, and that's the case right here. Having a hard time keeping it. Now, I do notice also on the back of this, there is 2 places to attach something. So this is probably reuse. I guess maybe it couldn't. There's no way I don't think that could be the reuse off of our Skelra figure that had those big wings, because this guy is a lot smaller than Skelra. But maybe we'll get that out and see if it is the same size. Coming down, he does have his loincloth there. Since we have him all decked out in his He-Man gear, let's go ahead and try to get these gauntlets on. So what you're going to have to do are these claws over top of the gauntlets, because that's how they're going to go. You have to turn your gauntlet so that the spikes are lined up with the back of his hand. So twist them gauntlets around, and that should allow you to just attach these on there. The little side pieces in here, that just clasps around the back of his hand. There is one. And I don't think that these are going to stay on very well. I mean, perhaps, but without having his hand be able to go through them, I just don't understand how that's going to stay. There we go. I guess they're on there. So I'll kind of get some glamour shots and show how that is on there. One thing I can tell right now I don't like is the underside of it. So if you're going to pose him with his hand up, it looks very much manufactured right there, like a toy. It should have that filled in right there on them claws, I think, because that kind of looks goofy. It doesn't look bad with his hands down, but why wouldn't you pose him with his claws up? And it just doesn't look that good underneath there to me if I want to pose him like that. So I think that was a miss by Mattel there. But he does look good in all this gear. I would say I'm not totally bummed out about it. I just wish these claws were, I don't know, they're staying on there, I guess. I'm just, if I try to go scratch something, that one stayed on. Yeah, they're staying on. I mean, they will pop off, but let's go ahead and get this stuff off now so we can transform him into his Thundercat. So the first thing we're going to do is pop that helmet off. There you go. And he does look a lot different. He does look like a cross between Cringer and Battle Cat right there. Next, we're going to take off these gauntlets. So I imagine they're just going to slide over his hand, because I don't see a clasp. No, they are not going to come off that way. So how are we going to get these off? I guess we have to pull his hands off, and that'll allow your gauntlets to come off. Now, I did enjoy Chitara because you had to take a lot of stuff off to get her out of her He-Man gear to get her into her regular Thundercat Chitara gear. And I had a good time with it. And the same seems like it's going to be here. So you have to take the hands off to get those gauntlets off. And then you're going to have to pop the shoulders off to get these, I do believe, to get these shoulder pads off, I think. Let's see. Yep. And let's see, is there a right and left on these? No, there is a number 2 on there. No right or left on these either, so I don't think the gauntlets are going to matter which hand you put them back on. Oh, that one did. This shoulder pad did just pop off his arm, so you may not have to take that shoulder off if you don't want to. But I'm going to take it off because this back side right here, we do have to unclasp that. And, well, we're going to have to take him apart at the waist to get that off. And that is fun to do. And there is his loincloth right there. And then we can take his chest piece off. And that is going to be it. And we're going to look like something off of the Thundercat. So pop him back together. Pop this arm back on. And like I mentioned, this is fun to do. I'm not sure if a 6-year-old kid could do this. Perhaps, maybe. Depend on how advanced and strong your child is that's 6 years old, because I think that's what that said on the packaging. Yeah, 6 years of age and over. So you may have to do this step for your child or your grandchild, like I've mentioned on all the other ones. So there we go. Now we have Battle Cat just in his Battle Cat Man, just in his Thundercats get up, and he looks pretty cool. Does look better. I think he does. This one does look better in all his He-Man stuff. Maybe even just leave the chest piece on because it does have the Thundercat on there. But let's see what he looks like next to our Lion-O. Here is Lion-O and Thundercat Man going to go beat up on some Mumra figures. I guess we might as well get Mumra out so they can have a bad guy. Now this is what I wanted to show you right here on the back of Mumra. He had those 2 holes in the back, but this is definitely not reused from that. You can tell right away because this is the mummy wraps, but I do like that Mumra figure. His waist is hard to keep together with that skirt on, or the kilt on, whatever you want to call it. But man, these things look awesome on a shelf, and I don't know if I'm feeling this Battle Cat Man or not. I think we could have probably went without him. Definitely in the first wave of figures in this line, they could have used, I would have rather have seen like Beast Man or Merman or something like that. But I'm enjoying this line. This is definitely the weakest one out of that first series. I like probably Chitara the best, and then I don't know, Lion-O, Mumra are close. Mumra, I would probably like him the best if his waist, every time I get him off the shelf and hold him and forget about that, where that waist doesn't go together good because of this kilt, it always comes apart on me. Playing with him, it pops right off. So that's the unfortunate thing, kind of holding that Mumra back. But, man, he does look awesome. Looks a lot like Mumra. Lion-O looks great. And Battle Cat, for what it is, kind of looks like a pro wrestler with his tights on right there. And I do kind of wish that we could have took these He-Man inspired boot covers off there. They're not full boots, but it'd be nice just to have regular legs there. Oh, there went Lino. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every one of you out there. Thanks for the comments. And for Mattel, Masters Universe, Thundercats, crossover line, Battle Cat, man. Till next time. Oh, yeah.